I was going for a meeting, and then I received a call from a known number who warned me that on my way there are people stationed to shoot me, to kill me. So some people said I wanted to become an MP of the area. Some people said I wanted to seize the land. I mean, all kinds of ridiculous accusations. Some people said I was trying to take credit from all the work everyone has done. So no, we are not even talking about credits. I think I lived on mango for a whole week. Seriously.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is April and you're welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see from the title of this video, we are going to talk about something very serious, something that is important among the youth today. And that is why with me I have a conflict mediator and the author of a book that is being sold on Amazon, Peace Building at the Edge of Death. His name is Abraham and he's here with me today to talk about conflict and conflict resolution in Africa, especially among the youth. First and foremost, how did you get into conflict resolution and peace building, that whole topic?
I can say the conflict resolution issues actually chose me because I was in the university studying mathematical science, heading towards becoming a pilot.
Wow.
Then I finished school, then I was working, and I don't know where the passion actually came from, but there was this continuation of a major conflict that have been in Ghana that has resulted in the killing of so many people. So reading the news, I fell passionately in love with going to do something, going to use my managerial skills to see how I could also contribute towards building a lasting peace for the conflicts. Then from there, it followed up to where I am now.
To where you are now,
Yes.
Which is where? What exactly do you do?
Yeah. My name is Korbla Klutsey. I'm the founder and the executive director of Youth for Peace and Security Africa, which is called YPSA, and another organization called Citizens Network for Peace and Security in Africa. Both organizations share their vision, Safe and Developed Africa, and it runs with the slogan, Making Africa Safer for Better Development. What we do basically is that we see every citizens of every community, every country as change makers, or we see them as having the ability to contribute towards making their own communities safer for better development. So what we do is to provide the platform for leadership and some kind of network to give the necessary skills and responsibility to every person in his or her community to make sure there's peace and safety in those communities. So yeah, basically that is what we do.
That is what you do. Okay,
Yeah.
So you train community members,
Yes, exactly.
to promote peace building in communities. Is that correct?
And the word promote is a little bit light. The word should be prevent and resolve.
Prevent and resolve.
I think so far conflict resolution in Africa has been on the ceremonial type, as in people going to sing about peace, people going to march for peace, people going to do all kinds of ceremony activities towards peace building. I think it's also one of the major reasons why many conflicts are continuing unresolved. These things do not address major issues in the conflicts as to what constitutes the basis of the conflict, the factors driving the conflict. It's all about let us go and wear some shirt and inscribe in it peace now, peace. No, those things do not solve conflict. They do not prevent conflict. We have to make sure that people are actively and strategically involved or engaged in conflict prevention and resolution in their own communities. You understand? So that is what we do. We don't do the normal thing as in sing for peace, joy for peace, sign for peace. No. So
you don't do the shallow things.
We don't do the shallow things. So if there's a conflict in any area, you will not hear much of us going on radio to go and speak of how the conflict could be resolved. We need to first of all go to the ground and go and investigate the basis of the conflict, the varied factors in terms of interest, concentrate in the conflict which are driving the conflict. These are the things we evaluate before we are able to draw a roadmap to end the conflict permanently.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So talking about going on the site of the conflict, right?
Yeah.
You wrote a book,
Exactly.
Peace Building at the Edge of Death,
Good.
right?
Yes.
And you spoke about the Alavanyo and Nkonya conflict in Ghana.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. You went on field, right?
Yes, yes.
And you were able to witness certain things.
Sure.
You were also able to make an impact.
Sure.
Yeah, so tell us.
A very huge impact. Anyway, Alavanyo and Nkonya conflict is a conflict that started in since 1913, 1923. It's a conflict that started with issues that had to do with land boundary and then has evolved into so many killings, so many kidnappings, so many distractions to public properties and life. So it has become so complicated and so large. So in 2013, I decided that if we want to see the efficacy or the effectiveness of our concept of engaging community members in an organized network to resolve their own conflicts, Alavanyo and Nkonya conflict was the best place to start from. So in 2013, I resigned from my job, emptied my personal account, sold some of my personal properties. I did all these things because, it was a new idea. So taking a fresh idea to somebody or the government or any organization to fund you was going to be extremely difficult. And I was also extremely interested in seeing the effectiveness on the entire concept. So leaving my job was necessary because there was a need for me to go and live in the community to be able to investigate the basis of the conflict. So that is the explanation of all those actions I took. So in 2013, I did all these things and relocated to the communities of Alavanyo and Nkonya. Then I was camping there with some of my members or some of my executive members also from Accra. We stayed over there for a year. This is a conflict that that people use locally manufactured guns. People import very sophisticated weapons into the community. People even use some locally manufactured bombs as well. This is a conflict that involved the use of machetes and even fire for destructions of properties and killing of human beings. So many people have been killed. Some people were beheaded in the conflict. So this is the kind of conflict.
So you were there for a year.
A year.
And what exactly did you do?
We needed to investigate the basis of the conflicts in order to understand the interests, the threats, the concerns in the conflict, as in the individual interest, the group interest, family interest, community interest, and those things, and how they differ in terms of internal and external. So after getting that, then we moved to building networks of people. As I said, you need to put the people in charge of the conflict resolution themselves, so that once you are able to lead them through some kind of processes for them to come to a conclusion as to how this is the conclusion we want to live with, you can leave them and they'll never fight again. So we didn't go there to kind of like tell them what to do about ending the conflicts. We just needed to put together a roadmap for them to follow, and then they themselves will come to some kind of agreement.
So you were developing the roadmap with the people
Exactly,
there.
exactly.
And obviously in a conflict there are two sides,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So which side were you with?
I was living randomly in all the communities. So today,
you were moving about.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'll be here next week. The following week I'll be at the other places.
Okay.
So we have a chart. Or yes, I developed a general plan. Conflict resolution, as they say, is very timely. It takes time, procedures and strategies and psychological processes. So I developed a general chart as to what should be done here, and then the same thing repeated at the other side as well. So all these activities were going on at the same time.
At the same time,
yes.
Okay. How did the people, did they know of you? And how did they react, knowing that there was this outsider who was moving from place to place? I mean, it can be a bit confusing.
Good. That was why it was very, very important that from the first, honesty was very good. And also the process I took myself through, as in staying with them in their rooms, eating with them. I use that to kind of build some kind of trust between myself and them.
How did you even get the trust to be able to get into their homes?
It all depends on how they call something community entry, as in how you introduce yourself to the people, how you explain your mission to the people, how you get them to buy into whatever you are going to do. Because trust me, everybody in Alavanyo and Nkonya actually want peace. The only problem is how.
Yeah.
And it is just impossible for any citizen or any inhabitant of either Alavanyo or Nkonya to lead a peace process. So peace process must always be led by an outsider. So I didn't have to convince anybody of my neutrality when it comes to the two sides. As in, people can say, oh, because he doesn't come from here and he does not come from there, there was no way he would be biased towards any side. You understand?
So they knew that you were an outsider,
yes.
and you came, you explained yourself in a particular way.
Exactly. And I shared my vision, I shared my proposal, I shared my plan, everything with them. Okay. Then we all agreed from day one before the process started. With this inclusion of the people and making them, putting them in charge of the whole activity and making them feel like they are resolving their own conflicts, has been so successful in terms that since we were there between 2013 2015, yeah. Ever since we left up to now, there hasn't been that usual clashes between the two sides. Mainly because most of the time the people who actually are engaged in this kind of clashes are the one now leading the peace building process. Are the ones that we went and trained and gave them responsibility to make sure that there's peace over here.
So you targeted the people who were the troublemakers.
Exactly.
Why did you decide to target these troublemakers? Why didn't you rather appeal to the community leaders, to the chiefs, so that they would then come back to their people with, the message and all that? Why your strategy? Why was it like that?
That action was informed by the investigation that we did. People must understand that no chief or queen over there own any army. If anybody is going to cause any violence or any attacks in any community, no chief or elder is informed. So most of the times, the chiefs and elders are innocent of many of the violence that go on over there. Everybody is fighting with his or her own interest and concern. That's why I use the word varied interest. You might meet two people in the same community, their interest in the conflict differs. Somebody might be fighting because of the land, somebody might be fighting because of a revenge. These are things that we take into consideration, so that, yes, in the process we engage everyone, but everyone has its own task as to what to do. When it came to the peace negotiation as we were preparing for, yes, the chiefs and elders were in the lead. But if we want to at the same time make sure that whilst the peace talk are going on, there are no people in the bush or the community fighting, we needed to engage the youth who are in the community who usually fight.
So speaking on a personal level, did you ever feel threatened? Were you ever in a situation where you could have lost your life or you could have been harmed?
Oh yes, on several occasions, because as I said earlier, the conflict has, in terms of interest, that's internal interest and external interest. The external interest is so large, complicated in the sense that some people, when two people are fighting, people take advantage of their division to go and pick whatever they are fighting over. So in Alavanyo and Nkonya conflict like this, in the community the forest is full of, wood that people go and then engage themselves in this illegal lumbering. And a lot of other criminal activities, including weed farming and business, weed farming and dealings. So, and other issues also. So these people who are not directly connected to the conflict but are criminals and are just taking advantage of the conflict, they are against peace building. You understand? Or they are they are aware that no, if this thing go far, they are going to be exposed. These people are there in government, in public office, who claim to be overlooking or managing the conflicts, in private capacity, who claim to be concerned about the conflict. So, time I was going for a meeting, and then I received a call from an unknown number who warned me that on my way there are people stationed to shoot me, to kill me. So I got that message, and then I returned to where I was staying then. And then after that, other issues also followed. There was several attacks on me. People started, when we were actually getting closer to the peace building stage, we did all of these ground preparations that was putting the people in kind of an environment for a lasting peace. And but we needed to go and do a public peace talk at Pando for the people to resolve that. When we were getting there, the people started, some people in government, in public authorities, public offices, they started attacking me with all kinds of things, to the extent that they made sure that the peace talk that we wanted to have never happened.
Wow.
Yes, that is one major problem that we are facing in Ghana. We think that as individuals or as citizens, we should have share some responsibility towards developing our country. If we want to do that, some people that we see as our leaders take some kind of unnecessary offense that we are doing what they are supposed to do, and then they attack us. So
wow. So just to clarify, you're saying that because some people in whatever position had an interest in the conflict, they were trying to remove you.
Oh yes.
Who was trying to build peace.
Yes.
Because of their own gain,
Yes.
whether it is timber or some illegal business or
some
something
monies.
that was going on.
Yeah.
That is so unfortunate.
Oh, I was so accused of so many things by some members of the regional community council. Some people said I wanted to become an MP of the area. Some people said I wanted to seize the land. All kinds of ridiculous accusations. Some people said I was trying to take credit from all the work everyone has done. So no, we are not even talking about credits.
What were you able to establish, or what were you able to achieve in the Alavanyo and Nkonya conflict?
Yeah. So because of my work over there, now there's a better understanding from the people about the conflicts. The other people who were once taking advantage of the people, their activities or their influence have been reduced. Now in both communities, there are people who are always there as a well-organized people to stop any clash. So since I left, there hasn't been any clash.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that has stopped, because yes, the people who usually engage in the clashes are now the people protecting the peace.
Yeah.
And so that has reduced.
And Abraham,
yes,
what are you seeing for yourself for the future? What are you working on now? And what plan do you have in terms of your projects for the future?
Now what we're doing is that we are extending the branches of the organization YPSA and the CNPSA to other African countries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have already started. We registered a branch in Nigeria. We registered a branch in Ethiopia. That is under a project that we have Vision 2026, which states that by 2026 we should be able to get 50% of African youths actively engaged in preventing and resolving violent and bloody conflicts in their own communities, in Egypt, in Somalia, in all places at the same time. So that is what we're doing. And also we are also going back to continue with the Alavanyo and Nkonya project and then end it. There will always be some disagreement in every community, in every workplace. What we are basically concerned about is, in resolving conflict, we put systems in place that people do not resort to any violent means of resolving the conflict. When people are not able to dialogue their differences, then they start fighting. So we want to put a mechanism in place that fighting or any physical exchange is not part of the solution process. So no matter how peaceful your community is, you must always, we want to put mechanisms or systems in place to make sure that violent clashes do not visit that community. And two, if there are violent clashes at some places already, we want to make sure that we go there, put in the necessary mechanisms and systems to make sure that conflict is resolved peacefully and it never returns again. Yeah, people can continue to have their disagreement, we don't have a problem with that, but do not fight. And that do not fight, we don't want to tell you by words, we want to put actions in place to make sure that you do not fight. So whilst we are doing all of these things, if you become a member, what we're also trying to do is that we want to build a system in such a way that all members of the network that we are creating, wherever you travel to, you are assured of your safety and security. And two, we also want to make sure that we provide free legal services to every member. We want to
every member of your organization.
Yes.
Okay.
Free. So those are the immediate benefit you will get as a member.
Okay, so you're encouraging people to join your organizations.
Exactly. So if you come to, it's kind of a network that we want everybody to be part of. And the task we are just giving you is to make sure that you share some sense of responsibility in preventing and resolving violent conflict in your own community. Don't travel to any other community, just in your own community, because if everyone is doing this in his or her community, the whole of Africa will be peaceful.
So thank you so much, Abraham. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was an educational video for you, and you can check out YPSA and CNPSA, their organization pages on Facebook. I'll leave the links in the description box down below. And if you're interested in Abraham's book, Peacebuilding at the Edge of Death, check out the link again in the description box down below. From there, you'll be able to get Abraham's number, you'll be able to get the book as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in another video. But today, I'm just saying bye.
Bye-bye.